Hello Capricorn gang, Capricorn Sun, Moon Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. My name's Annie. Happy to have you all out there. Please come into this tarot reading with an open heart and an open mind. Take away only what resonates for you and please release the rest. Do trust your own intuition above all else because you are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. All right, let's do it. For Capricorn, let's go ahead and set the intention to get my Capricorn gang some clear, helpful, and insightful messages wherever they are at on their spiritual path. All right, so we're doing a little sneak preview. What's to come during eclipse season for Capricorn? What might we anticipate or come to expect? What might be in the ethers coming in for Capricorn in eclipse season? We have the full moon lunar eclipse around March 25th. So yeah, these are sort of in preparation for that. Let's share some messages with Capricorn. What's going on? All right, Four of Pentacles. You're going to give a little to gain a lot. You're making room for something in your life, and so there's a releasing, but it's very easy for you. This is not something where it's like you're begrudgingly having to give something up or eliminate or let something go. There's like a good swap or a good exchange, but you have to wait in terms of getting back whatever you're getting rid of or whatever you're giving or releasing or sharing. But I almost see this very much as like, oh yeah, no, go ahead, take it. Because you know whatever you're getting from this exchange is so much better. Or I don't know if better is the right term, but it's an upgrade. So you're very willing to be like, oh yeah, I don't need that. Or I'm going to say no to that offer because I'm very much into this one instead. It's like, whatever you're giving up, you no longer need it. And you also have a good team of people supporting this decision, or a good, it could be good allies, good group, good friendship, whatever it is. You have people supporting you. Something about horses is coming through too. I don't know if that's at all related to this message. It just might be a confirmation for one or two of you. All right, so then this is the King of Wands. All right, Triple Goddess Tarot is what I'm using. So all the court cards are female, just so for those who know. Let's see, or those who want to know. I also think this is probably more of a metaphor than literal, but there's almost like an auditing type thing going on where someone is like watching your performance or noting your performance or maybe offering you some critique or constructive criticism. It does maybe seem like someone who has power over you in terms of like supervisor, title, boss. Like it could be that. That being said, I think you're getting stellar reviews. I think you have a lot of pride in your work. I think you know that you bring a lot to the table. So whether or not you know that someone is watching your quote unquote performance, you have nothing to hide. It's sort of like you may become privy to the fact that you were being, I don't want to say recorded. That sounds really like shisty, and that's not the energy I'm getting here. It's just like someone is watching and noting you, and you may come to find out later that you had like I don't know if this is even legal, but like a surprise performance review. I don't know, whatever it is. And again, it could be a metaphor for some of you. It's almost like, oh, really? Like they were watching that? And internally you're like, oh, awesome. I crushed it. Like I did so good that day, or I gave such a good presentation. I had no idea that, what is a good word for that? What do you call it when like a representative comes to take employees from their current workplace and get them to work for them? There's a very specific term for that. All I can think of is like catfishing, but that's not what I need, or not what I mean rather. People do it online too, like LinkedIn, someone will be hiring and they'll reach out to employees of like a competitive business and be like, hey, so we're offering this great sign-on bonus. And it's not catfishing, but you know what I mean. There's a word for it and I can't quite get it. But anyway, there's that type of energy here. Not necessarily that you're switching jobs because of it, though that could absolutely be a possibility for some of you. There's this thing of like, yeah, someone's very impressed by what you're doing, but they're keeping it's tight-lipped. They're not necessarily showing you or expressing outwardly what they think of you, but it's all being written down or it's all being internalized. You're like, okay, noted for the future, like Capricorn is really good at this, but they're not telling you that. If this does have to do with dating and romance, someone has had their eye on you for quite a long time, and it's like they're working up the courage to ask you out. This person presents as very confident and having it all together, but they feel very intimidated by you. So you never know that on the inside they're a little bit like, oh man, like I don't, they almost think like Capricorn's out of my league. And so they might not be approaching you, but they could be formulating a text. Like they might be writing notes in their phone of how they want to phrase something to you, or getting ideas together on how they're going to ask you out, or maybe they're making, I don't know if this makes sense in the context of it. Maybe they're making plans to travel with you. And like there's some details going on behind the scenes that, again, you're not necessarily privy to, but you've earned it. It's because of the way you show up in the world, in your life, in your relationships, in your work, in your career, etc., where it's like, yeah, you're so cool. Like you're doing so well. And you make it look easy and effortless, even though it's taken a lot of strength and a lot of courage and a lot of power to get where you're at today. You are coming through as very stable. I will say very confident. So for my insecure Capricorns watching this might not be your reading this week. You have like this ease about you where it's like, yeah, I got this, no problem. If somebody asks you for an extra favor and you have time, you're like, yeah, sure, no sweat, no big deal. There isn't necessarily like there's not a heaviness energy about this right now. And the Seven of Swords. All right, so what's that about? Let's see. Okay, so every now and then the Seven of Swords can have to do with not always feeling confident in how we express ourselves emotionally, again, externally, right? Like we obviously know what we're feeling internally, but when we have to express that outwardly, sometimes it gets lost in translation. A lot of times it's people who run from their feelings. If things get too vulnerable, too sticky, too heavy, someone's very quick to be like, oh, I'll deal with that another day. I don't know why I'm wanting to put it in context of this, but I'm almost wanting to say, cross your T's and dot your I's, because if you don't do it now, what you skip now will catch up with you later. I think that's very important for Seven of Swords energy. It is Moon in Aquarius, so there's a lot coming through, Capricorn. I'm hoping you can pick and choose what is relevant to you. There's also an energy here of, sometimes it can be self-sabotaging energy. Sort of this, that's it, I'm never looking back, but also I'm going to peek back in and see what they're up to. There's that. To be honest, I don't think this is you. I think this is someone you're dealing with. But it's funny because you don't even know about their insecurities because they present to you as King of Wands. But it's really interesting. It's like what's illuminated here is this power and this confidence and this, just ease of going through life and, kind of commanding respect when they walk into the room. It's that kind of person. That being said, ironically, that's what you're doing here, but you don't necessarily see yourself that way. Other people do. But then what's going on behind the scenes of whoever this person is, for some of you, it might be your boss. For others of you, it's a romantic suitor. I don't know. It's kind of convoluted. But anyway, it's like what's illuminated versus what's in the shadow. There's the Two of Swords on the back, so it's almost like carrying the burden of needing to break the silence or wanting, really what it is, I think, it's wanting to open up emotionally or be more vulnerable or get to know you in a more intimate way, even if it's not romantic. But there's an element where this person self-sabotages, or if it's not that, it's like they cut themselves off too short. It's like they're about to do it and then they talk themselves out of it because it's easier not to. It's easier to just like go home and rest and gather their thoughts, Four of Swords up on the shelf here. Go into Four of Swords, like I'm going to think about it, I'm going to plan my strategy, and then I'll do it tomorrow. That's what this is. It's not like a cheaty, self-sabotaging, or sabotaging the relationship. It's not liar, cheater, thief. It's this person denying themselves the opportunity to approach you or work with you because they're intimidated by you. That's for some of you. And it's like this person is cutting themselves off short or denying themselves the opportunity to approach you out of fear or wanting to present as perfect because that's how they see you. It's like this person wants to present to you in the most perfect way, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, you tell me, Capricorn, like if this person likes you, wouldn't you like to know? It's like I'll determine for myself what kind of person I want to date. It's like they're almost trying to read your mind and react to sort of your vibe in order to present themselves in a really good way that I don't know. It's like authenticity versus perfectionism. I don't think they're trying to lie to you, but it's like they want to put their best foot forward, and it's almost like they don't want you to see the inner workings behind the scene. They want you to see like the finished product, but they themselves may be going through some sort of transformation where they're still working on themselves a little bit. That may have to do with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. That feels very romantic. Back to the workplace scenario. Again, I'm sorry these are so like jumbled together. That's kind of how my tarot readings go sometimes. So the workplace scenario where like the whole like what word did I use? Now I just lost it. Crap. What was that word? Not monitoring, but driving myself nuts today. Give me a second. Auditing. Thank you. Metaphorically, I don't know if that's what's going on, but someone who's trying to pull you from the pack because your performance is so good, that may have a Seven of Swords. Okay, that's what it is. That may have the Seven of Swords energy because it's like they're trying to recruit you for their team. Yeah, because they see a lot of potential in you. So they're going to reach out with some sort of opportunity. I would be careful about that, though, because the thing is, the position you're in right now actually seems really good. For a lot of you, it seems lucrative. There's a little bit of an unusual energy there. And here's the thing. The whole recruiter storyline, if that makes sense to you, they want you on their team because they want your skills and talents. But I have this weird feeling that if you do jump ship and go towards this new opportunity, I don't do fear-based readings. That's not what this is about. This is just like I'm sort of hearing like pulling the wool over your eyes a little bit, like you're not actually seeing the full picture. So just make sure you're not operating out of the grass is always greener mentality. I think your intuition is going to help you in this scenario. It's almost like initially it sounds like a fantastic opportunity, but if you dig and do a little bit more research on this company and maybe why they're hiring or why they're trying to pluck you from your job and bring you onto their team, there's just something about like a wolf in sheep's clothing or something. It's not personal. It's how the business is run. It's how the company is run. So I would just do your research, do your fact finding. I'm going to leave that message there. Others of you, there was something very quick to be like, no, I want it. Here, take this because I want this instead. I think at your current job or your current position, your current role, whatever your career is, there is going to be some sort of shuffle or change up or unexpected influence that is going to help you. It's almost like you're being presented with page energy here. I think there's going to be a revisiting of a contract that puts you in a more advantageous position or ups your salary or gives you a little bit more cushioning. Maybe it's extra vacation time. But I want to underscore it's with the situation you're currently involved in. It gets better. I would maybe not practice, but I would be apprehensive to say, yes, take a leap of faith and jump at the new thing, only because the Seven of Swords and the whole like wolf storyline, it's like someone's trying to bait you. And it's not that they have malicious intent for you, specifically the person watching this reading. It's the moral code. It's the ethical code of the company that's trying to pluck you and bait you. I mean, that in itself, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a business strategy, but it's a little shisty. It's a little bit shisty, right? I would wait it out where you're currently at and revisit that conversation of a raise or whatever this is. It may be that you have to take an extra course or class to get a certification or get more pay or whatever. Like upping your skills and game is going to up your resources at your current job. But yeah, I wouldn't be quick to jump that position because I actually see you being really happy there. And it might, like, I guess don't be dazzled by dollar signs because it's a lot more complicated than that. All right, so that has to do with the business stuff. Then you very clearly have someone who's interested in you romantically, strong fire sign energy, maybe Aquarius energy, but the feelings are not being expressed yet. This person is kind of like beating themselves up a little bit. This almost has a vibe of an ex. It doesn't have to be. It could be someone new. I would say air sign, fire sign energy is coming through the strongest. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What other storyline do we have to know here? And again, if you are thinking about jumping ship and going towards a new opportunity, don't do it because your tarot reader said not to, right? Self-accountability. It is saying, however, do your damn research. Make sure before you sign on the dotted line that you understand the contract that you're getting into. Read the detail, read the fine print. I do think Mercury's going in retrograde. Ugh, you're going to have to look it up because it's like... I want to say it's in like a month or so. But anyway, that's what I mean about jumping ship depending on the timeline of this. Just make sure you know what you're signing up for because it's very quick to project happiness onto some new opportunity without really being immersed in it yet versus not seeing all that you have going for you right now, knowing that adjustments can be made here. There's flexibility and adaptability and room for growth, but you might still be settling into it or discovering opportunities for growth. And I mean, for those who have been on my channel, I'm very quick to be like, fool energy, take a risk, take a leap of faith. Like, that's how I tend to like sway in terms of my tarot reading. This is the opposite of that. This is like, appreciate what you have and know that this isn't it. But it's almost like this energy of feeling like you want to charge ahead and you're not getting anywhere. It's like trying to run a race, but you're, shackled to a brick wall. It's very easy to be sort of coerced, that's not the right word. Seduced. That's an excellent word for this. Feeling seduced or the idea of seduction of, oh, well, look how dreamy and lovely this could be and more vacation and more money and more benefits and, just come work with us. Like, it sounds so sinister the way I'm saying it. It's business. But with that, it's like, I don't know. I just don't like the ulterior motives here. I think this person is an excellent salesman. This is very like Sagittarius energy. Like, I can sell you anything because I'm charming and I know exactly what you want to hear and I'm going to tell you that. I don't think it's this representative. I think this person I wish I could think of the word, not catfishing, not baiting you. It's like, you know exactly what word I mean. I can't think of it. That's why this person was sent to do it, to recruit you, because like they are very skilled at being like the suave, smooth talking car salesman. The company itself, though, there's a little bit of there. I just don't love it. I just don't love the vibe. I think they know how to appeal to what you want. Like Ace of Wands, it gets you excited, right? It, symbolically, it's like, ooh, I'm aroused. Like, that sounds good, right? It's not, though. It's not. Like, it's going to be deflated. Sorry, I'm going to move away from that message. But that being said, swinging back into the romantic aspect of this, I don't get sinister energy in terms of someone who's wanting to pursue you romantically. I think they're very attracted to you, but they have trouble expressing their feelings because they're intimidated and they also have self-esteem issues. So there's your King and Queen of Wands, though. So there is a divine pairing here. Okay, thank you. So here we go. For the whole, I want to look this word up because it's driving me nuts. I keep needing to reference it. The whole person recruiting you to join another team or another company, and I hate to make it a gender thing, it's just being revealed to me this way. If you would end up working under a very strong female presence, there's a lot of catty, competitive energy in that organization or in that group. And the catty energy doesn't just have to be women. It's just a confirmation. If you would be working under a woman or a woman would be your supervisor or your boss, her leadership skills, there's something thirsty. It's like out for blood or out for, and that's the mentality of who you'd be working with. It's very cutthroat. It's very competitive. And this is nothing like, it's more a reflection of how this person views how things should be run and operated. It's almost like you are being put in a scenario that it would be like deer in headlights when you kind of get there and immersed. It doesn't present that way, but once you know the inner workings of how the operation is run, you're like, ooh, I don't want to be a part of this. It's very savage. It's very cutthroat. What do you call it? commission based for a lot of you. There's like a sales dynamic here where it's very go, 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 and like stomp on the little guy to get ahead. And like, I think you're so above that, Capricorn. Like, your energy right now is like, you work hard, but you also have peace of mind about what you do, and you don't necessarily have to take it home with you at the end of the day. Like, you do your thing. There's an ease to it because you've been doing it for a while where you're good at it. You're confident. And something about this, it's like, I'm hearing words like jumping into the fire, you're going to get burned. But the recruiter isn't going to tell you that, right? They're, oh my God, it's so great. And we have such a lovely like work family dynamic and we all support each other. No, they don't. No, they don't. They're lying. I'm getting this message very strong. This is a very specific one. I'm sorry. It's not going to resonate for all Capricorns. But anyway, yeah, I mean, in summation, don't leap without looking. Do your research. There is something that doesn't necessarily show itself on the surface, and once you're in it, it's like, get me the hell out of here. Now, if we're going with the whole romantic storyline, again, fire sign is pursuing you hardcore. They see you as their second half or their other person. They come from a family that had a lot of chaos and a lot of drama, and I'm even going to use the word abuse slightly, mental, physical, emotional, whatever it was. So that has a lot to do with their uncomfortability being in a vulnerable position. They hold their emotions back because they avoid conflict at all costs, or they don't want to feel that pain, I'm hearing the word inflicted, by being rejected. So by taking some sort of risk and asking you out, they risk being rejected, and that is tremendously scary to them. There's something about being the outcast or being pushed aside or not feeling wanted, not feeling valued. That has to do with a rough dynamic with siblings, with parents. They came from a very chaotic household, and so you wouldn't know it. They present themselves as having ease about them and having it all together. That is far from the truth. They also may fall into groups of friends who, I want to be careful how I phrase this. It's not that they're a shallow person, but they do hang out with people who they aren't always in alignment with, but it's almost like they've been friends with them for so long that they have trouble breaking it off or setting boundaries or just calling it quits on certain friendships that they've outgrown. And so some of their friends are very immature or give bad advice or maybe have a tinge of like jealousy to them or competitive energy with friends. I don't necessarily think that's how this person operates, but again, it's like their tribe needs to be cleaned up. They need to use more discernment and discretion in the people they hang out with, because it's like you are who you hang with. And so sometimes the negativity of the people they hang out with, that sort of gets absorbed into their energy. Okay, here's what it is. They're easily influenced by people who don't always have their best interest in mind, and they don't always realize that. Siblings and friends group especially, if you already kind of know who this person is, flat out, you're not going to get along with their siblings or their in-laws or their family. But I do want to underscore there's something very different about them versus who they hang with. They're sort of the alien or the exception to the rule there. And so I think you guys would jive and you guys would get along. But with all this like sword energy, there needs to be fine lines and separation and boundaries in who you guys are as a potential couple or team dynamic, partnership, versus all the extra and the excess and the other people. It's almost like we want to separate. Like I'm literally wanting to be like, all right, let's do this. Let's like separate what we don't need and like bring these two together and put like a little safety circle around them. Cause it's like, we don't need the opinions of other people coming into this. I literally can't explain it better than just like, I'm wanting to push away the extra and be like, this is safe and this is protected and this is good, and the rest is like it's interference. It's like, interference. Like I'm throwing down the flag. Interference. All right. Interesting. Any last minute advice or guidance? I'm going to wrap this up because this is kind of all over the place, but hopefully you can pick and choose what resonates for you and what doesn't. Something may make sense in the future too, so feel free to revisit this reading. The Ace of Pentacles, literally this. It's like, do you see how the Ace of Pentacles, it's kind of being squashed or being inhibited by these vines? It's like we have to cut it out and save what is good and what is pure and cut out the excess. Leave the extra drama behind. Save what is salvageable, what we find valuable, what we want out of this, and hold on to it like it's precious. But then it's like separate the wheat from the chaff. It's like we got to get rid of anything that is inhibiting, or I'm even going to say intoxicating, something that is toxic and not good for us, but it's easy to fall into it, or it's easy to get involved with it or hang out with it. It's like we have to rescue what we want and move on. And there's something very precious about holding on to it. And I am wanting to say the phrase, like, don't just up and abandon ship because you have dollar signs in your eyes, or you're being dazzled or seduced by something that you're very smart, Capricorn. You don't typically take risks if it's not grounded in reality. And I think that's good advice with the Ace of Pentacles here. I just have to know, is this person going to make their intentions known in, like, let's say in the month of April? Are they going to come forward? Like, I'm recording this kind of mid-March. By April, is Capricorn going to know who has all these hidden feelings but has self-esteem issues? Like, what is the deal here? It's like the Ace of Pentacles, it's trying to be seen, but it feels very restricted. So this person may have responsibilities to their family, to their friends, to their job that's keeping them back, keeping them held back. It's being relayed to me though, it's like a dog on a leash. Like, it needs to be set free. It needs to run through the field and like, that ground, that earthy energy. Like, it's just trying to get to Capricorn, but there's so many things going on where it's like it can't. Is this person going to make things known? All right, the Magician. I do like that. I think there's huge potential for it, and like the powers of manifestation. There is an underlying energy though of manipulation, and this has to do with the people around them. They run in a weird circle. I'm gonna tell you that, and it's not that that's who they are. It's the circumstances that they came from and they arose from, their family. There's too many players, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. So if this person has the ability to realize that and separate themselves, they will be able to come forward, and it's actually going to bring them a lot of peace when they do. I think I like the potential of you guys coming together, but my goodness, this person comes from like difficult circumstances. So know that going into it, that move forward with compassion with this person. Are they going to vocalize it, or are they just thinking about it? Wheel of Fortune. Okay, it is going to come into fruition, but by the end of April, I would say. All right, anything else Capricorn needs to hear? Anything else Capricorn needs to hear? Miracles. You are being asked to pay extra close attention to all the big and small miracles that that have already occurred in your life, and also to those that are currently occurring and still to come. Miracles surround you. Be on the lookout for them. I like that. The Magician to the Wheel of Fortune, the manifestation of blessings and abundance coming into you. And I almost see these two fairies as like your spirit guides helping to sort of, co-collaborate with you in order to bring something into manifestation, into the reality, into the 3D, into this earthy energy where it is real, it's reliable, and it's practical, but it's still being unearthed. It's still being revealed to you. Or it's about to be revealed to you, I would say. I don't think you can necessarily see it yet in physical, tangible form. And love message for the Capricorns who are interested, anything to do with love and romance, a hint, a clue. You have two. Oh, but one came out. All right, so this is the truth, Aquarius energy. Okay, I could totally see that. You did have some Aquarius stuff going on here. I do feel like Aquarians sometimes have a hard go at it in life, especially early on. Like you, Capricorn, they're a Saturn-ruled sign, so, right out the gate, right out the birth canal, so to say, they're hit with that Saturn energy. And so over time, they become the master of their destiny, but there could have been a lot of misguided information or influence from others that, again, whether that was self-sabotaging or whether, the people around them were using their authority to put them I'm hearing the word position, power, and abuse, and I'm having trouble putting that into a sentence, but it has to do with the people around them and the crowds they hung out with, the family, whatever. There's a liberation from that, but there's triggers, there's trauma there, and so approach with ease and caution. I think there's something so beautiful about what could be a potential connection with an Aquarius or maybe even a fire sign. You guys have a very strong friendship that maybe blossoms into a relationship, but there's ease and there's peace. This person can finally exhale because they feel safe with you. Oh, that's a heavy message. It's like beautiful, but like I'm seeing sort of the layers of what's underneath, and it comes from a broken place. This person has had to do a lot of healing on their own. So don't be too quick to judge a book by its cover. I will say that. Capricorn, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate you. Please show me some love. Hit the like button, smash the thanks button if you want to leave a tip or a donation. Leave a positive comment. Anything like that helps my channel grow, helps me find an audience on YouTube, and that's my goal. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and hit the notification bell so you'll be alerted when I post readings. And if you want more from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook as The Intuitive Teacup. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Capricorn.